a wider audience, maybe a huge public gathering. Now, if you look, we have made it little explainable and we have given some certain terms for every audience. So analysis. Now analysis primarily answers two questions. Whom are you going to address? And how many of them will be there? So the level of the audience and the number of the audience. Now the second thing which we have to preempt before making the presentation is understanding that what is the level of the student or the audience and what is their knowledge about the subject matter, what you are going to discuss. So obviously, once you are talking, making a presentation to your teacher, there will be a different approach. If you are making it to a peer group, there will be a different approach. Then demographics. Demographics means what is their age, what is their gender, and what is their educational background. Now the next aspect is interest. Now interest means why they have come to attend this presentation and who asked them to be present over here. Now the next aspect is environment. That means where am I supposed to stand and can everybody see me and listen to whatever I am speaking. Now the next aspect is needs. Now needs means we need to take into account that what is the outcome of the presentation which they expect. Now we emphasize on outcome-based education. So here also the same principle applies, that what exactly they want to learn from this presentation or what exactly they want to achieve from this presentation. And at the same point of time, you also need to take into consideration that what exactly is your need? How are you going to present? What apparatus, what machine? Just customized. So you need to be very particular about how and what you are going to deliver, and how much also. Because what happens that once we are making a PowerPoint presentation, we become very ambitious and we bombard with information. Now the audience is lost in that area of information, and he is not able to get anything out of that presentation. So we need to customize it. And then finally, expectations. That what do you expect from the audience and what they expect from you. So these are certain factors which are very important once we are doing the audience analysis. And all this is to be done before making the presentation. Now, moving forward to the methods of presentation, if you look at the different presentations which are being made every now and then you will see that there are four major aspects: extemporaneous, memorization, manuscript, and impromptu. So if you look at the first method, you will see that it is a carefully planned and rehearsed presentation. You have worked hard, you have carefully prepared it, and then you have rehearsed it either in front, either with a peer group or with yourself only. The second one is memorization. You remember everything and you speak out. Now, if you look at the first one, extemporaneous, you will find that there are certain advantages and disadvantages attached to it. Now, advantage is that you can Constantly maintain an eye contact with the audience. The audience is most likely to pay better attention to whatever you are speaking, and you are able to engage them both verbally and non-verbally. And also it has a scope for flexibility. Now, if you look at memorization, you are simply reciting whatever you have memorized. But for this, you need to have a committed memory. You must not miss something in between. So you need to have a committed and sharp memory. Again, here also you can maintain the eye contact. And you can, while maintaining the eye contact, you can deliver the entire information. The disadvantage is that you need a lot of time to prepare. You need a lot of time to prepare because you need to remember everything and anything, whatever is you are going to deliver. Now, the third one we are going to talk about is manuscript. Now, manuscript is, you must have seen a person from MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, giving a speech. He is also making a presentation, but he is simply reading from a text. He has a text in front of him, and whatever is there in that text, he is simply reading that text. He will not go a single word beyond that. So similarly, if you are making a manuscript presentation, then you will read whatever you have thought of delivering. No, not a single word less, not a single word more. Now, the advantage is that whatever information you have thought of delivering, you can deliver. You will not miss anything, which is most likely to some extent in the previous two methods. Now, if you look at the disadvantage of the manuscript is that it may lead to monotony in the audience because you are reading and they are simply listening, and then it might appear that it is a book reading session or something like that. But still, wherever we need to give only precise information, then we use manuscript presentation. Now, the last one is impromptu. Now, impromptu is you are making a presentation without much preparation of whatever you are going to speak. So, you will be spontaneous, you will be responsive, but the only thing is that it may be disorganized. The information which you are giving may be disorganized, it may lack coherence and cohesion. So these are the four major types of or methods of presentation which we can use. So for example, in most cases as a student, you will use either the first method or the third method. Now, there are certain audio-visual aids which are required and which you should be aware of beforehand that what exactly do you need. So you can see some of the apparatus which are visible on your screen, that overhead projection, although not much used in these days, slides, yes, sound slide sets, yes, multi-image presentation you can use, then computerized image projection, you are having an LCD projector and you are presenting through that LCD projector. Then we have opaque, and now we also have black white board to make the presentation. You can also use a videotape or an audio tape to make your presentation. But what is desired is that whatever is your need, you must convey it to the organizer of the presentation or whosoever is responsible for providing these tools. Because suppose that I come to a class and there is no LCD projector, how will I make a presentation? Now, tools, which are these technology-based tools, these different kind of machines, what we call, they add certain things to our presentation. Now, what would they add? What they add is that they increase the understanding of the audience, because whatever you are saying can be supported by a visual, can be supported by a graph, can be supported by a chart, or so on. Then you are able to convey your meaning clearly because you have points in front of you and you need to elaborate. The other advantage is that your audience remains engrossed in your presentation. And it obviously, because of all these things, it has a greater impact on the audience in comparison to the other methods which can be used. Now, since we started with the conversation that we are going to talk about PPT presentations, so why do we use PPT? Now, these are certain things, certain advantages of using a PowerPoint presentation. The first one is better attention of the audience. What you are speaking is reinforced by your verbal message. Then there will be a simulation of interest from the side of the audience. And whatever is hard to visualize, that can be illustrated through a PowerPoint presentation. That can be illustrated through visuals. So what I am saying, I can present it with the help of the visuals. Now, coming to the content of the presentation, you need to decide in advance the content of the presentation. You need to visualize it in your mind, that how exactly it will look like. And also we need to check that whether whatever I am talking about is presentable or not. So a good presentation needs to be interesting, relevant, sometimes entertaining also, and prominently, it must be engaging, that you are able to capture the interest and the focus of your audience. Now, I don't know whether you have seen or not, in our times in the university and of course later on, we had overhead projectors, OHPs. Now those OHPs, we used to prepare our information or our presentation on transparent sheets. We will write with a pen or a marker, and then we'll put that sheet on the overhead projector, and that same will be visible on the wall or the whiteboard. But now with computers so handy, and of course with so many different types of gadgets like tablets and like advanced mobile phones, it is much easier to make a PowerPoint presentation in comparison to those presentations which were delivered through OHP. And they promise, this PowerPoint presentation promises better information, better communication. It reduces the chance of irrelevant ideas being presented, and also it helps you in making things conveyed to the audience in a lesser time in comparison to other modes of delivery. Now, at this, I will hand over my screen to my colleague Jibu, and he will take you further in the presentation, and then after that we'll come back for the question answer session.
Thank you, sir. Let me introduce him to our students
Yes, please.
so that we are very lucky that today we have a very renowned scholar amongst us, Mr. Gibu Sabu M, who did his undergraduation from CMS College, Kottayam, and after that he went to JNU, and JNU is not unknown to us. We all know the JNU and its credibility. And from there, he did his master's in linguistics in the year 2004. And after that, he pursued his PhD from the same campus. And he has also done an MA in English from IGNU. His focus area is linguistics again. And in linguistics, he has been teaching sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, anthropological and forensic linguistics, and history of English language. Uh, Currently, he is teaching in Amity University, and we all know that because we have Shashi Shekhar Singh sir also from there. And so Gibu Sabu sir has also published in NCRT, and he has also worked as a project fellow in NCRT. And he has also been translating works from English to Malayalam and English to Hindi. So we have a multilingual scholar amongst us, which is a rarity in today's world. So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the English department, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya. Please take it.
Thank you, organizers. Now, yes, so Shekhar sir has talked to you about the preparation that you have to do before start with the presentation. What all things you need to keep in mind when you make a presentation. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Please.
Okay, thank you. So I will take you through the technical aspects of PowerPoint textualization, or PPT for short. Many of you must have done it already, used it already, but I will be sharing with you some tips, uh, sharing you with some aspects of PPT. I'll take you through different aspects of, and features of PPT to make your PPT more impressive, more effective, more memorable, and more engaging. Because when PPT came, it promised kind of a better communication. It promised a simpler presentation. It helped and reduce the time which was necessary for assimilating the information, so that the presenter and the audience could have more time debating about the content. And all those different aspects. But because of the overuse of PPT and the way that we tend to use PPT, it became all the more boring, and it made all the more worse for the presenter and for more for the audience, because there were a lot of slides, there were a lot of irrelevant data, we use when we put a lot of annoying clips, or maybe even worse, we even add annoying and irrelevant pictures. So we have to then organize and put the PPT in the best possible way. Now, if you have noticed, if you have not noticed, let me take you to the earlier slide. Right. These were the earlier slides, and then this. Okay, so please have a careful look at the slide. And then Look at the current slide. Can you see any difference? I hope you are able to see the color. The color of the earlier slide was red for the title and blue for the pointers, and there was a background picture. But right now it's black with a line on it, right? With a line on it. And the contents are black in color, and there is a line. Okay. Now that brings a visual change. We have changed the speakers, and so we did not change the PPT, but we made a thematic change, right? So this way you can actually engage people, right? And another important aspect is visualizing your content. What do you want to present? Because we are already hearing the speaker, and if we see also something, the chances are that the audience will be able to retain more. Reproducing what we are saying in the slide is not good. There is no value in presenting a paragraph, a text. So what we need to do in visualizing is to, okay, so this is what we are going to say. How to present it in a picture, right? How to use, can we use diagrams? Can we use other visual cues to increase this, increase the engagement of the presenter, engagement of the audience by the presenter? Because we should note that a simple list of bullet points like this is usually designed to assist the presenter, indicating what he is going to talk about and in what order. It only serves to prompt him to remember his or her lines. So then we are seeing this PPT as a cue for the presenter, right? But when we visualize it, it will create a more engaging atmosphere. Now you might be thinking, you are saying, no, you don't use text and don't use bullet points, but you are still using it. You will see the difference in the next slide. Okay. So we create the PowerPoint, including pictures, animations, bills, etc., because visuals will help you greatly in presenting. So I am going to talk about how to use that, starting from the scratch. You see the difference? Now no text, right? Mostly, it will be mostly pictures, and then it will be a mix of both text and pictures. So how to create a presentation? You open the Microsoft PowerPoint, you go to New, and then you will have a black presentation, or you can select a presentation from one of the templates given here. You can see a lot of templates. Very handy way to start a presentation, right? Select one of the themes, one of the template. And as I had said, you can change the template in between to create effect, as we have done just now. Right, so open the PowerPoint, select the option New. If you want to do it all by yourself, experiment it, then you can do the blank presentation to start from scratch, or there are already built-in templates for you. Now, if these templates are not sufficient enough, Microsoft has created, with the help of so many supporters, a lot of templates which you can find in this particular link. Now, once you start that, you can also select the slides, whether you want to have the title slide, title with content, section header, title with two content pages, comparisons, content with caption, picture with caption, and so on and so forth. In the home page, you have the option for new slide, and when you click on the new slide, you have the layout which you want to create for that particular slide. So this is how you add the slide. Now, when you add the slide and put the text, you have to keep in mind a lot of things, right? Some tips how to do it. Keep it simple. Now, we will be talking for almost 1.5 hours, but if you count the number of slides, it will be hardly 30, which includes the title page and our address, email address, and question answer session, the question answer slide, and thank you, right? So that means the slide is hardly up to 25, the content slide. And with that, we are going to present for more than an hour. So use the slides sparingly, because one of the biggest problems in technical presentation is the overuse of slides. As a rule of thumb, you can think of having one slide for every 2 minutes of your presentation or more, not less. Don't change the slides every minute. So a useful rule of thumb then will be 1 minute, 2 minutes of presentation per one slide. Second, focus on one idea. Present one key point per slide. So you must have noticed, we have used a title here, how to use the text. Then I am talking about that main idea. So one idea at a time, so that it is easy for the audience to understand what the major topic is and what all that the presenter has said. And that will also help the audience to focus more on the topic. Now, if you present more than one idea per slide, that would be very distracting, or it can even the audience from the central idea, because the audience will also be simultaneously reading and hear the speaker, right? Otherwise, will read the presentation, which is not our point. This is point.